Hi, my name is Jillian Bauer-Smith, and I'm the Executive Director of INACSL. I wanted to take a few minutes of your time today to talk about some of the volunteer opportunities that are available with INACSL. So I'm going to go ahead and get the PowerPoint started, and it'll be about 8 to 10 minutes long on this video to just give you an overview as to what your opportunities are. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as I stated, today's session, we're just going to go ahead and walk through some of the different volunteer opportunities that are available with INACSL. Here are some of the objectives that we have for this particular short-term video. So we want you to basically have an idea of the different time commitments and types of opportunities that are available, as well as where to go for a lot more information. We're just going to touch the surface of the different opportunities that are available today. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And first, we'll talk about the different time commitments that are available for the different volunteer opportunities. So as you can see from this slide, we have several different sizes of opportunities. Some are short-term, medium-term, and long-term, or large, small, medium, and large. So for the short-term opportunities, those are seasonal or depend on what exactly is going on with the organization at the time. We would do a call out to the membership if there was a need for a short-term volunteer opportunity. We call these micro-volunteer opportunities, and then there's also working groups, which may work on specific projects under a specific committee, but they need more people than just committee members to work on that. So those are the different types of things you would see under the short-term opportunities. These may last for a couple of weeks to a month or two at the most. One of the examples of this would be reviewing abstracts for the annual conference, or being involved with the reviewing award applications, grant applications, and so forth. The longer term volunteer opportunities last from 3 months to 2 years. And it really depends on the specific opportunity that we're talking about. So as you can see here, we have task force and ad hoc committees, and then we have subcommittees and standing committees. So all of these involve volunteer members and opportunities. Task force and committees are specific short-term committees, usually 6 months to a year long, and they have a specific charge or goal outcome that they need to achieve. And the committee would work towards that specific goal or outcome. And when they were done, that specific group would be disbanded. The only way it would not be disbanded is if the board decided that the work of that committee needed to continue in some capacity. And then at that point in time, the board would make a decision as to whether or not that work needed to be turned into its own standing committee, or whether or not it needed to be absorbed into an existing standing committee or subcommittee. So that's what a task force and ad hoc committee is and does. Then we have subcommittees. Subcommittees fall underneath standing committees. So for instance, the social media subcommittee is a subgroup of the outreach committee. And standing committees are mandated committees, which means that they're specifically referenced in the bylaws of the organization as being so important that the organization really needs to have them to continue the work of the organization and achieve the goals and strategic plan of the organization to move the organization forward. All of the subcommittee and standing committees, people would commit to a 2-year term, and at the end of a 2-year term, they can decide whether or not they wish to stay on the committee for an additional 2-year term or rotate off of that particular committee. An individual is asked to serve no more than 4 years on a specific committee. This is to provide new members with an opportunity to serve on committees and have volunteer opportunities, and to also get new ideas and thoughts flowing into the different committees, because new blood kind of helps keep things exciting. For our larger or longer term volunteer opportunities, these particular ones that you see here are 1 to 2 years in length. Sometimes they can end up being more if they're elected positions and people are elected into additional terms, but we'll go into that a little bit later when we get to elected positions. So all of these positions here, the top two that you see, committee chairs and committee vice chairs, those are appointed positions. And positions are appointed by the president of the organization with consultation and suggestion of the vice presidents. So each vice president that's on the board oversees specific standing committees, and they help the president appoint specific individuals to the chair and vice chair's positions every year. Both the Nominations and Elections Committee members and members of the Board of Directors are elected positions. Now let's go over a few of our highlighted opportunities. As you can see here, these are some of our short-term and medium-term opportunities that we had on our previous slide. So these opportunities are posted on a monthly electronic current news. If we have any of these opportunities, we would send those out in the newsletter to let people know that they can apply, fill out an interest application to apply to be on any of these particular groups or committees or micro volunteer things. We also promote them through social media, and there's a link off the homepage of the INACSL website, which is www.inacsl.org. There is a volunteer link, and you can get right into the volunteer page and fill out a volunteer interest application. It also, on that particular volunteer page, has information about the specific highlighted opportunities for that particular time period. Once these highlighted opportunities are filled, they're taken down off of the website so that people know that those positions have been filled at that point in time. If you're looking for a longer term commitment, INACSL has a slew of standing committees that you can become a part of. And some of these also have subcommittees that occur underneath of them. So these committees are longer term commitments. Usually individuals serve a 2-year term, and they can choose to serve an additional 2-year term. So members would serve no more than 4 years on a specific committee. They can definitely move to a different committee and serve additional time on other committees in the opportunities we have. So a little bit about the cycle of volunteering. So we have a regular time each year that we do a call out to fill open volunteer positions for the standing committees that I just listed on the previous slide. So if you look at the side, you can see that the actual committees start their work in August each year, and they continue their work through June. So it's a different cycle than a January-December academic cycle. It's a little different than that. So as you can see, we will be sending out calls for standing committees in May and June of every single year, and that call goes out to the members with standalone notifications, as well as a notification in the monthly electronic current news and social media. So all individuals that are interested in volunteering on a standing committee are directed to complete an volunteer interest application so that we can match you with the committee that you're interested in joining. A little bit about elected positions. So first we'll go over the Nominations and Elections Committee. As you can see, these positions are filled by voting from the membership. So it's a 2-year commitment, and at any given time there's 5 members on the Nominations and Elections Committee. And while you're a member of the Nominations and Elections Committee, you are not permitted to run for another elected position during your particular term of office. And the work of the Nominations and Elections Committee is really to oversee that process, which is why we ask that our bylaws state that you're not to run for another elected position, because you're overseeing the elections process and the nominations process, and you're also reviewing all of the applicant information. The other elected positions we have are with the Board of Directors. And these I broke down into 2 different specific categories. One is the vice president positions, which are all 2-year positions. People can run for an additional 2-year term, but they're not guaranteed the opportunity to serve. That is dependent upon the will of the membership and that is expressed in the election results. And then the president position is actually a 3-year commitment. So the way that works is that you run during the elections period. You would put in an application or a nomination. to be president-elect, if elected, you would serve a one-year term as president-elect, and then in the second year, you would move and become the president of the organization. And then in your third and final year, you would become immediate past president. So that is a 3-year commitment. And the key thing to remember about the president position is that once you've run and served as the president, you are not permitted to run for any additional elected positions within the organization. So a little bit about the election cycle, in case you're interested in running for an elected position. We do a call for applications in the fall, and that is followed by an intense interview process as well as vetting of the candidates. And then the Nominations and Elections Committee makes their final selection of candidates in December. That information is posted for members to review in preparation for elections in January. And then in February, voting opens, and that is usually up for several weeks. Once the results of the elections are determined, then the candidates are notified. And a virtual training period occurs March through June. At the end of June, the individuals that were elected assume their position for their term. So this, as I said, this video just scratches the surface of information regarding volunteering with INACSL. So if you would like to learn more information or fill out a volunteer interest application, please go to our short URL on our website, which is www.inacsl.org/volunteer. And this particular page will have much more information about different volunteer opportunities. Any highlighted opportunities that we have available will be posted there, as well as detailed descriptions of each of the standing committees so that you can really see where your interests might coincide with what we have available in volunteer opportunities. So please go ahead and check out this particular site and fill out a volunteer interest application, and we look forward to seeing you in the future as a volunteer of INACSL. If you have any questions that weren't covered in this particular video, please go ahead and feel free to give us a call at our main number or to shoot us an email. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Thanks so much for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you in one of our committees or as a micro volunteer. Have a good day.